Hi everyone, this is Academic Blog 1. I'm going to be talking about Zionism. I'm going to be referring to two articles that we had to read for the 5th and 6th of May. One is by Leora Batnitsky. It's about the origins of Zionism. The second is by Stuart Cohen, and it's about the IDF controversy of 2005. So the first article is mostly focused on Theodor Herzl as the father of Zionism. The article argues that the reason that Theodor Herzl's ideas were able to find purchase was because he was a charismatic speaker, he was energetic, he was able to gain the attention and the admiration of the Eastern European Jewish community, and he was influential. He was able to speak to many members of different countries who were in positions of power to advocate for a Jewish homeland. And as much as that wasn't realized during his lifetime, he certainly set the ball rolling. However, the article also says that he was certainly not the first person to talk about Zionism, nor was he the last. The article specifically spends quite a bit of time as well talking about one of his detractors, who was a man named Ahad Ha'am, who argued that Herzl was really only interested in political Zionism. That basically the only way that he saw Judaism and Jewish people was as a group united by the fact that they had anti-Semitism leveled against them. So really the only thing that brought them together was anti-Semitism. Ha'am says that he instead thinks that the Jewish people, are a nation, have a historic connection to the land, to each other. And while Herzl was not interested in religion at all, Ha'am actively repudiates it. He says, as modern people, because he was a proponent of Darwin's theory of evolution, he says, as modern people we have to leave religion behind, but it doesn't mean that we can't gain some of the lessons from it. So for example, the idea of God judging the people was translated into an idea of the people judging themselves or each other. And something that was important to Ha'am as well was the idea that Jewish people had to reconnect as a people before they could necessarily have a homeland. So as much as Herzl was focused on simply getting the homeland, Ha'am says that Jews need to once again become a community of people, and to refute the Mendelssohnian idea. So Mendelssohn was an Enlightenment Jewish thinker, that religion is really a private thing, that it's only one aspect of life, that it can be compartmentalized, and that Judaism is only a religion. Ha'am said, no, we are a people, we are a nation, we have a common history, and religion is, and although he repudiated religion and said we have to leave it behind, he said that the idea of being Jewish was infused into every aspect of life, that it wasn't simply one aspect that could be compartmentalized in the way that Mendelssohn said that Jewish religion should be. And a way that Ha'am believed that this could be realized was through the introduction of Hebrew and the reintroduction of it as a modern language. So the second article about the IDF controversy relates more to religious Zionism. So the Zionism we were just talking about is considered secular Zionism, cultural and political Zionism, but both secular Zionism. However, the second article talks about how religiously observant members of the IDF, of the Israeli Defense Forces, were exhorted by some rabbis in Israel to not go into the Gaza Strip and Samaria to perform a mission that the Israeli command had issued them, which was to disengage 8,000 Jewish settlers in that area. Because, as those rabbis argued, it was a land that had been given to the Jews, had been given to Israel, and it was their right to remain there. However, certain other rabbis said that that religiously observant members of the armed forces should obey the orders, that they should strive for Jewish unity, that they should protect life at all costs, so that the idea of them objecting and them not performing their task could lead to bloodshed in some way, and that this would be against the Jewish tenets of preservation of life. And it also talks about the way that the religiously observant members of the armed forces really, as much as they were thinking about this during this time of controversy in 2005, really the day-to-day question was more about living Jewishly in the army on a day-to-day basis, so observance of the Sabbath, gender separation, that kind of thing. And it talks about how the rabbis really, as much as they were arguing about this, that it was not the central question of the religiously observant member of the army. So I wanted to connect this to my experiences in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv on the 5th and the 6th. So in the evening of the 5th, we were walking around during the celebrations of Israeli Independence Day, and something that I saw really moved me, and I just wanted to talk about it for a moment. So as we were walking into the city and everybody was milling around wearing their blue and white or waving their Israeli flags or what have you, I saw a young woman standing on some kind of elevated area, and she had an Israeli flag draped around her shoulders and it was waving in the wind, so it looked like a cape. And she was standing there and her friends were taking a picture of her. And just seeing her in that moment standing tall and proud and happy, I really had a sense that I was seeing Zionism in practice, that I was getting to see a unique example of somebody being proud of their country and just seeing it written all over their face. And that was a really wonderful thing to experience, because I think that as much as readings are really interesting, it's really wonderful to get to see something for yourself. And the other thing is that the readings really focused on the disagreements between different Jewish groups on what Zionism is. But in that evening, as everybody was walking around with their flags, I really felt like I was experiencing Zionism in a way. And the same in Tel Aviv yesterday at the air show. Everybody laughing and clapping and cheering and barbecuing. Again, a real sense of unity and a sense of this is patriotic and national feeling. This is Zionism. And even if people have different ways of understanding it, it's something that they all hold in common. So that's my first blog for the academic side of things. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you soon.